Fallout 4 is a much longer game than I originally remembered it to be. And you want to know why that is? I think you already know, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's because of Preston Garvey and all the settlements that are scattered throughout the Commonwealth. Every one of them needs our help! Go, General, go! At the rate this man goes, it's twice as bad as Skyrim's side quests. I'm getting off topic. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the reason you're all here. I got nothing, to be honest with you. The idea came to me at 4 a.m. and now I'm going to test my luck. Not looting in a Fallout game, that's just bizarre. God help me. Let's give it a go. Let's discuss what looting actually is. In short, looting describes valuable items picked up by the player character over the course of the game. That's what it says on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an open source website on the internet, so everything you read from Wikipedia is 100% true. Rummaging through a crate and take the contents inside, that's looting. Picking up a gun from a dead body, that's looting. Sticking a live grenade in someone's pocket, that is not considered looting, though the action leads to looting, you see. There are two ways to garner items for yourself. Number one, an NPC directly giving them to you. Paladin Dance towards the beginning of the game gives you the Righteous Authority laser rifle. That's a safe weapon. The second way is by purchasing them from vendors. Caps are normally everywhere, in containers and in pockets. You see my dilemma. And so we begin a character who's been through a lot of pain over his lifetime. I mean, that scar on his face should say enough. That character is me. Well, it's not actually me, but it's who I'd want to be as a video game character. Since an immediate weapon is non-existent, throwing 6 points in strength seemed like a good idea at the time. Playing around with GameStop stock was also a decent idea at one point in time. 5 points were also thrown into endurance, charisma, intelligence, and agility, because I need to be fast as boy. Being charming in a conversation also seems pretty important. Avoiding combat would put extra years on my life. I'm trying to borderline hit 250 years old. I'm over a quarter of the way there, so wish me luck. The purge siren began blaring everywhere, so my first thought was to leave my wife and son behind and run like hell far, far away. I almost got out of the neighborhood, but the bomb blew up where Virgil lives and killed me. I guess it wasn't going to happen as I tried it a second time, but somehow passing that light pole initiates detonation. I guess I'm the one at fault here. To leave some evidence behind that I was there, I pushed a street cone into the river just in case. It took like 2 minutes to push into the river and the bomb still didn't go off. Now I know that street light is the big red button. We got to some platform and either someone ran past that street light or someone got a 25 kill streak. I'm more inclined to believe the latter now that I think about it. Vault 111 is a facility that transmogrifies living human people into those red, white, and blue popsicles that we used to love so much as youngsters but haven't tried in like a decade. Not exactly sure what happened, but the wifey wasn't a popsicle and neither was I. It was quite sad. Oh yeah, and my son got taken. I guess we have something to go for instead of blitzing through the game at the speed of sound. Roaches are disgusting, by the way. Now, I know this next part may cause some controversy, but allow me to explain. I am dismantling every single item littered throughout my former neighborhood as a means to build for future civilization. I mean, look at all these wooden poles. Each so graciously and generously grants me a whopping 2 XP. Now, I thought about this myself. Isn't breaking down everything considered looting? And the answer is technically no. All the scrap I'm getting from disassembling everything is not going to my inventory, but rather the workbench. Don't you just love loopholes? Wire fencing is apparently easier than wooden poles as you don't even have to move to place or scrap. I needed something to drink, so I stopped by the local gas station, which is out of commission by the way, but I did get a mutt and named him Dogmeat, because that is the most creative name to ever give a wild animal. Ever. Dealing with the Raiders in Concord wasn't all that terrible. Dealing with the Deathclaw, on the other hand, made me question my sanity. I guess it wasn't so bad as all I had to do was sit in a store and 1 eternity later, the abomination was sent to a deep level of hell that I wouldn't normally condemn for mere enemies. This is the exception. I have yet another dilemma. 2 raiders remained out of reach, literally, and I had 0 HP, so I had to walk all the way back to Sanctuary, drink up, and waltz back to Preston doing the dirty work anyway. Video games, man. Video games. The trek to Diamond City was short and bittersweet, a couple of bodies to drop, and I almost looted out of habit because it's Fallout, but I managed to restrain and take my 100 caps from the lady. Not take isn't steal, but, well, you know. Other than the fact that Diamond City is essentially the main hub of the world of the Commonwealth, a certain particular reporter is there whom I would like to come with me. A simple interview about blowing shit up later, and I got myself a brand new supplier of energy drinks and snacks. Every so often, Piper gives you items like bubblegum, Nuka-Cola, etc., anything that's a health restoration item. Mo here has genuine, authentic, custom-made hickory swatters. Or just baseball bats. I'm apparently too much of a zoomer to understand modern slang. Caps are very limited in quantity, so rather than running out of ammo literally always, I'd rather choose something that's close quarters and never runs out of ammo. You'd think the next bit of combat I'd use the damn thing, but for some reason I went fist only at the Cambridge police station. Don't ask, I have no idea. This recording session was over a week ago. Good old Paladin Dance felt like being a condescending son of a bitch that day as well. Looking up to a man in power armor no less, demanding answers to questions. I have never felt more violated in my life. As I recap what happened, I questioned why I even bought the damn bat at this point, as I went through the entirety of ArcJet systems without using it. I deserved to fail. Though my one bit of retribution was cooking Paladin Dance via ignited rocket fuel. That was satisfying. It was up to this point where I was forced to collect my first piece of loot from a body, a deep-range transmitter. Needless to say, I was not happy. The weapon he granted me as well was an added bonus. Private Investigator Nicky, Ricky, Mickey, Sicky... Okay, that went better in my head. P.I. Nick Valentine can't keep his hands to himself apparently and got abducted by some weeaboo named Skinny Malone and his gang of no-nosed goons. I finally realized that I bought a bat, or excuse me, a swatter, and bashed some brains in. This little bobblehead is taunting me, I am telling you. The way out could have ended better, but I guess my diplomacy doesn't have enough points put into it. I won the fight in the end, but it was not clean. I happened to walk by the combat zone a little while later and took the opportunity for 102 free caps for clearing the place out. Not even sure why I met the railroad to be honest, but what's done was done at that point. Deacon led me on a mission to eliminate a bunch of chrome dome synth sons of bitches, according to this guy. It was worth it in the end though, since the Deliverer's silenced pistol was gifted to me, and I am a firm believer that this weapon is one of, if not the best non-looted weapons in the game. Recounting old tales is lame, so I'll just skip the part where I cried my eyes out over my lost son to Nick Valentine. It was really about the popsicle, but I wasn't about to tell him that. I needed a key to get into this house. Don't ask for context. I begged the mayor on my hands and knees to get it, or at least I would have if required, but he bought my story luckily. I'd rather not have to steal it from his pockets, mostly because I can. Snooping around somebody's abandoned house was slightly exhilarating and would have been all the more fun had I been able to take that Nuka Quantum back there. But now, if nothing else, I have a secondary home inside of a baseball stadium. That is a sentence I guarantee has never been said beforehand. Murdering my wife's murderer was underwhelming. I even killed him multiple times over to get that satisfied feeling into my system. All I felt afterwards was dissatisfied and a bit hungry. I hadn't eaten that day. In terms of ratings between borderline boredom and unfathomably awesome pertaining to the arrival of the Zeppelin owned by the Brotherhood of Steel, I'd rate it a second-rate introduction at best, or a 2 out of 10. To get even a slight clue as to where the Nefarious Institute actually is, a trip to the Memory Den was in order to meet with Dr. Amari Atari. The whole plan, defile the Fruit Loops corpse.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And take a dive into Kellogg's Frosted Memories. The experience was as good as the cereal, virtually zero flavor or substance. I like a lot of sugar in my cereal. It's why I don't have a 6-pack at the moment. I'll get there one day though. While in Good Neighbor, because I've had caps accumulate from a couple of side quests, I purchased a fusion core and a sniper rifle from Cleo along with some 308 ammo because I hate when money just sits around. I had a measly 5 caps to my name. The fusion core was required if I desired to not use a ton of rataways to get through the glowing sea. Rad scorpions and deathclaws also loomed around out there, and as much as I would like to make friends with a deathclaw, I'm afraid my charisma isn't quite there to tame a lowly merc in a gunfight, let alone a beast of that stature. If you take the letter L in Virgil and replace it with the letter that comes 2 spots later alphabetically, you have a brand new fact about this super mutant. Getting through green tech to kill the courser Mr. No Love Life was talking about proved problematic. Running around with only a bat and a sniper in close quarters combat against dozens of dudes with guns is not how I envisioned my Friday night going, yet there I was. 24 minutes, 34 seconds, the amount of time it took me to reach the top of the building. In that time frame resulted in death in the form of bullets, lasers, turrets, you name it. It was clearly a time. Bashing the brains of a robot with a swatter is a lot simpler than blitzing through a tower with 20 other dudes. Your fun fact of the day, big sad right here, I don't want to talk about it. What I will talk about is the HP left over from the hostile takeover. Another bullet and I'll be seeing what either heaven or hell looks like. I'm not exactly sure where I'm heading. Tinker Tom is an insane man. I just want to point this out. I couldn't even understand half of the things he was talking about. Probably more than half if I listened to all his nonsense again, but I have zero desire to do so, so we'll just leave it at that. The Prid win was exciting, at least, if you exclude the question of possibly having any intimate relationships with virtually anything non-human. No, I do not have any desire to f*** a Deathclaw, Captain Cade, you perverted piece of shit. F*** off already. Raining down hellfire upon super mutants, I have to say, is a very satisfying experience, especially one that's as giant as a 2-story building. How exactly does one grow from a 5 to 6 foot tall dude to a 20 foot tall monster in the form of a behemoth? Dude probably f***ed a rad scorpion at one point. Maybe Captain Cade is in the right asking that question after all. Building a teleporter is arguably the second most awesome thing that I've ever done. The first is highly classified and top secret. Actually, teleporting into the Institute is the most awesome thing I've ever done. It's only in Fallout though that your own son is technically older than you biologically. Seeing your own spawn now twice your own age has got to do something to you mentally. I know if I saw my son older than me, who could technically be my dad given the age difference, I'd probably see a shrink. That would most certainly f me up psychologically. Seeing the kind of experiments he's the head of, though, might just do me in. Bunker Hill, at least, was something else, let me tell you. I am a natural chaotic nature, you see, and the most chaotic thing to do is have every faction available fighting each other at the same time. I feel I'm chaotic good, though. I let the sense go in the end, which means I sided with the railroad. What can I say? I don't believe in murder or slavery. Freedom, though. That's what's up. I wasn't going to mention this, but my better judgment decides against it, but it took me way too long to figure out what to do in this building. Take that for what you will. Seeing what the Institute does to synthetic intelligent life forms, though, it hits a soft spot, man. Regardless of the circumstances, if something has free will and can think for itself, why put them under the whip? Haven't we gone through enough times in history where we realize that this kind of behavior is wrong? Only thing that's changed now is blood type and bone marrow. F the Institute. I don't even have shame grabbing items from an abandoned drawer to mess with these guys further. F the Institute. Transversing down the mass fusion building required an elevator to get down. I just wish we had a platform to stand on, but hovering in place, slowly letting gravity win is cool as well. The beryllium agitator was claimed, but against us on the other side, and not one, not three, but 2 Assaultrons attempted to melt me with their laser beams and a sentry bot because why the hell not, right? Power armor is the absolute best. I didn't realize though that by betraying the Institute without getting the help of Dr. Lee that it would effectively lock me out of that side of the quest. And a save point was not available to go back that far now. That is approximately 2 hours down the drain going another direction in our quest. But in the end we did clear the castle and got a sweet new radio station to listen to. I'm still going to be listening to Diamond City Radio though. Good job, General, said Preston. Rest is something we could all use at the moment. However, there's another settlement in danger. I'll mark it on your map. Ugh, I can't stand this guy. If it were my choice, I'd just go guns blazing solo in the Institute. I'd probably win because this is a video game and I'm the protagonist. But alas, I already got kicked out, so there's that. Rescuing settlement after settlement until Preston says we're good to launch an attack is like climbing up a monotonous mountain. It took some time, but we managed to push through, albeit begrudgingly. Who knew an entrance to the Institute was just a pipeline underneath the river? I'm not ashamed to admit that I metagamed a bit and went down there way earlier in the game, but was restricted access. I had to at least try. Plenty of zombies laid down there, so I had to go bonk several times. Getting inside the Institute with the Minutemen of all groups was not exactly on my bucket list because I know as soon as we're done, I'm probably just going to be shooed away like a fly to another damn settlement that needs help. I was half tempted to quit about 3 hours prior. Looking at this place though and the sheer amount of white that is just everywhere, I think we can find a special place in hell for anybody that thought these fools were doing good for the Commonwealth. They even sicked their gorillas on us, and I don't know about you, but that is in very poor taste post 2016. I understand why video games have you travel mostly solo against waves and waves of enemies. It's because whenever you actually have some backup, it's not even a contest. Would you consider this merciless? I mean, this is the man who instigated super mutant metamorphosis, continued to instill fear in every mind in the Commonwealth, thinks slavery is an okay ideal, and most importantly, threw me out of my ass because I did what I believed was right. In the end, he is still a child at heart, berating his parents because he thinks he's on the correct path. I'm not even sure what is even happening with Sturgis right now. I understand the man is crafty, but this is taking it a bit too far. Decided raising a son I didn't even want was unnecessary, and I left him to spontaneously combust down underground. Preston and Piper hated that, but when my own real son scarred me for life after this day, I don't need any remnants of the past. We teleported out of there, pressed the detonation button, and the Institute was no more, and I did not beat Fallout 4 without looting. Gave it my best shot though. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, consider leaving it a like. Or if you didn't learn anything or didn't enjoy it, leave it a dislike. And if you haven't already and you like what you see on your channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It's free and you can always change your mind if you want. Have a good one. Peace out.